Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City.
Big news from PhD Weight Loss, the program that's been helping the Sportsocracy lose pounds and discover a new, healthier us, is proving its championship-level results. It's now the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. Coach Sweeney said it's only unthinkable if you don't think it. I never thought results like losing more than 50 pounds in 4 months was possible, but PhD's all-in approach has made a believer out of me.
Since starting with PhD Weight Loss, I've dropped back down to my high school weight, but the best part may be the effect on my sleep. The weight loss has helped me experience restful sleep for the first time in a long time.
We've seen the results, and now PhD's program has been validated further as the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. With PhD, you get a 5-star commitment to you and your success. Book a consultation with one of their Hall of Fame health coaches today at myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com.
It's good to have choices. We're your alternative, Alt 101.1. With music like this.
If this feeling flows both ways.
And this. We're Asheville's alternative rock, Alt 101.1.
As Americans across the country continue to receive COVID-19 vaccines and booster shots, some women remain hesitant to get vaccinated because of concerns about potential side effects. We spoke with Dr. Dorothy Fink, Director of Women's Health in the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Health, to learn more about the COVID-19 side effects in women.
You know, one question that has come up a lot, that we hear a lot, is how can this COVID-19 vaccine impact the menstrual cycle? The NIH is funding a lot of research and has found that the COVID-19 vaccine can be associated with temporary changes in your period, including changes in period length and sometimes some heavier bleeding. But the good news is there's currently no evidence that any vaccine, including the COVID-19 vaccines, can cause any problems with fertility or any problems with trying to get pregnant.
To find COVID-19 vaccines and boosters near you, check out vaccines.gov.
Northern Tool and Equipment isn't just a store, it's a problem solver's paradise. Fully stocked with the right professional grade tools and fully staffed with experts who have the right answers. Problem solved. Shop Northern Tool and Equipment this week for our Memorial Day sale. Save up to 50% on lawn and garden equipment, fans, power tools, and more. Shop in-store or online at northerntool.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Christine Lisi. Heat forward Jimmy Butler, dealing with knee inflammation, will warm up with the intention of playing in Game 4 of the NBA East Finals tonight against the Celtics, according to Coach Eric Spoelstra. Kyle Lowry, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, P.J. Tucker also will warm up with the intent to play. Tyler Hero's out with a groin injury. Boston's Marcus Smart and Robert Williams III are questionable. Jason Tatum is probable. Celtics need a couple of things out of Tatum if they're going to tie the series up 2-2, believes ESPN NBA analyst Jalen Rose.
Aggression, and stop crying to the refs. You got to play through the physicality, in particular in the playoffs. But this is the thing I want to make sure I also point out for Tatum and Brown. Too many turnovers. It's one thing to have 23 turnovers. It's a killer for your team when the other squad snatches 19 steals.
Game 4, 8 Eastern, ABC and ESPN Radio. NFL Colts agreed on a 2-year deal with quarterback Nick Foles, reuniting him with head coach Frank Reich. That was his offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. Foles will back up starter Matt Ryan in Indianapolis.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on to ESPNABL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome in. It is a dreary Monday here outside the Ingles Studio. We are the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so you can get into the chat with us here on this Monday after the PGA Championship.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. Yeah, it's raining outside, but you're not Mito Pereira today.
You're not Mito Pereira. And on the other side of that, you're also not Justin Thomas, who...
He's doing life pretty good.
Yeah, I would say so.
You can take out of that what you want to.
I would say so. We had NBA playoffs over the weekend, NHL, NASCAR's All-Star Race. We'll talk about that coming up later on in the program. And, of course, we've got all the latest in the NFL to get to as well. Juwan Howard saying no to the Los Angeles Lakers, and who's surprised? And, hey, here's a shocker. The rest of the NFL owners, they may finally be getting with the program here on Daniel Snyder.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I think they're closer to that than you do, but we'll talk about that coming up later on in the program as well. Welcome in everybody listening on the iHeartRadio app and watching on YouTube, and had a nice little Batman-themed open there.
It fits nice. The opener a lot. It looks better with the opener than the other one did.
I said, ooh, look, leave it up to the Batman fan to come up with a Batman intro on the YouTube stream. And he's like, oh, it's not Batman. It looks like the start to every Batman show you've ever seen.
You want things to be less Batman, then find somebody other than me to build the graphics.
I'm surprised you didn't find the silhouette, like the Batman animated series.
Just noticed there were no birds in that open.
Opening poll question of the day on the YouTube stream. Would you rather miss the cut or choke away a win like Mito Pereira did yesterday?
And for me, it's not even close. It's not even close. I would rather have shot a 90 and been at Hooters with John Daly on Saturday.
Oh, come on.
Not even debatable. That would haunt me for the rest of my life.
But I mean, to even be in contention at a major is a big thing.
I will bet you any amount you want to bet that 6 months from now, people will remember Mito Pereira by going, you remember that guy that for some reason pulled driver on 18 and just went, what was his name again? Oh, yeah, nobody remembers because it's completely irrelevant.
Hey, I mean, he's a young guy. He's a rookie on the tour.
He's not as young as you think. He's 27 years old.
Well,
he's been pro for 7 years. This is the first time he's been able to keep a full-time tour card.
Yeah, but in golf terms, that's like 18, isn't it?
No.
I mean,
the best golf of your life is between 30 and 35. Okay. So, yes, he has not hit that point yet, but you'll never get over that.
Yeah.
That will be the closest he ever comes to winning a major. And I like the kid. He handled it so well. But I will tell you right now, if I were him, me and my caddy would be having a serious conversation when there were no cameras on us.
Well, it just plays into everything that you've been saying about golf, is that week in and week out, there are 40 dudes that could win.
Oh, easily. And what's funny to me is the entire weekend, blue check marks and people on Twitter, oh, this has been such a bad tournament because we don't know who any of these guys are. Then we get to a playoff. Guess who it was? Justin Thomas, Will Zalatoris.
Yep.
Two highest profile names in the top 10. Weird. Weird.
Really?
How
Zalatoris has hit that mark?
Oh, Zalatoris is up there because people love him.
Okay.
They love it. There's just something about his down homesy, oh shucks, I went to Wake Forest personality
it's
that
not
people
just
really
he looks
like.
Like the caddy on Billy Madison, right? Or Happy Gilmore. Sorry,
he also looks
Sandler
like
movie.
He looks like a kid from The Sandlot, all grown up. But
he does.
That's how the PGA Tour works. And I was literally watching, because if you remember, somebody in this here studio had a little piece of paper that said Justin Thomas plus quite a large number. And as I watched that, I went, this could actually happen.
Right. Came in 7 strokes off the lead in the final round.
That's why I love golf.
And pulled out the win.
That's why I love golf. I didn't know who, and I'm a degenerate golf guy, I didn't know who 4 of the top 10 were I mean, I'd heard the name, but I didn't know anything about him.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't matter. Then Justin Thomas and Rory make a little move on Sunday. Perfect. Who cares? Let's go. I did fall asleep watching the Joe Buck megacast.
Okay.
I had a dream that he was commentating my life. It was very odd.
Was that while your dad was on?
No, John Daly?
Yeah.
Nope. Watched every second of that. We'll get into that later. I'm reasonably sure John Daly and I are related in some shape or fashion.
You are similar people. There is
we
no
have
doubt
some
about
similarities.
That. There is no doubt about that. You fashioned your golf game after him, and apparently, actually, what I want to happen is now for you to fashion your fashion after him.
Oh,
I want to see you showing up in those weird little skull Zubaz pants he was wearing on day one.
He had a pair of Arkansas Razorback ones on yesterday.
On yesterday?
Well, while he was doing the
okay.
the Joe Buck megacast. Can we just do every sport that way from now on? I don't care about the commentator. This is why I laughed at the Tom Brady thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about who's commentating this. Did you watch any of that?
No.
Oh, I couldn't turn it off. It was
I did
great.
not.
John Hamm showed up. It just works. It just works. That's how every sporting event should be done from now on, unless Tony Romo's commentating it.
Okay. What was it on?
ESPN Plus.
Oh, okay.
By the way,
See, that's why I didn't.
You know, we are on an ESPN affiliate, so
right.
maybe this will reach somebody somewhere. Could you maybe make that a little easier to find? I have a television that has every channel on the planet Earth, including a slew of them that are in languages that I do not speak.
Right.
I could not find ESPN Plus to save my life.
See, no, I didn't even know that was going on. Oh,
so good.
I didn't even know that was going on. I knew they did it, what was it, Saturday morning.
They did it through the whole tournament. He did every hole of that tournament.
But ESPN had the coverage of the early Saturday morning stuff. And then they signed off when CBS went to it. And so I thought, well, ESPN doesn't have this anymore. So I didn't know that was even going on.
Oh, yeah, he did every hole. It was fantastic.
I appreciate you letting me know after it was over. That was
you know what else could do that? TV Guide or the interwebs.
That's an interesting thought, though. Every sport should do that. And I would tend to agree with you. Because I have enjoyed watching the Monday Night Football, the Manning cast.
The one I'm dumbfounded hadn't done it yet is baseball.
Baseball.
You who has absolutely nothing for 3 hours. How has nobody gone, hey, let's bring in celebrities?
Yeah.
Because have you ever noticed every celebrity has a baseball team?
Mm-hmm.
All of them. I literally could not name you a high-end celebrity that doesn't have a baseball team.
Most sports fans do.
Except me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have one. I just could only name you like 2 players on the team.
Are you still a Mets fan?
No, it's fluid.
It's fluid.
It's fluid.
Okay.
That Chris Bryant thing was working out a little better with the Rockies. You know, we could have paired him with my Nuggies, but that's not going so well.
Now, I remember years ago, the Boston Red Sox got a lot of flack because they were talking about trying to do their radio broadcasts as a sports talk show. So it would be a sports talk show format, but you would just break in the conversation to give the update on what's going on in the game. And it never really took off. I think they tried it like 3 times. And they got so much backlash that they just gave up.
Which is just insane. That's how everything should be done.
I just don't know if I really want, like, in the moment, like yesterday's games. Red Sox are tied 4-4 with the Seattle Mariners in the bottom of the 10th inning, and the bases are loaded. Hopefully at that point, such a pressure-packed situation, you would be talking about the game, but I could imagine they're talking about the Celtics and how they're doing it, and then all of a sudden just break in, oh my God, there's the game-winning grand slam!
Castellanos deep to left.
Exactly.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I don't know that I want that, but I would enjoy it. It would depend on who's on it. Because you put A-Rod on it, and I'm out.
LA State Road 23 in our comments said Manning cast changed the game. I agree. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
But it's just perfect for where we are now. And the fact that they got the Joe Buck thing didn't make a ton of sense to me when ESPN did it. It does now.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense now because now your golf coverage, it's hard to beat Jim Nantz. And I'm not going to lie, I watched the playoff in the last few holes on CBS.
Right.
I watched the rest of it with Joe Buck.
It was Joe Buck and who?
Oh, if you hadn't asked me. I saw his name for 4 days.
Oh, it was the caddy guy.
Yeah, the ESPN caddy.
Yeah.
I can't remember his
John
name now.
Something.
But it was fantastic.
Okay.
I mean, you're starting to sound like Kirk Herbstreit, though. Did you see his tweet over the weekend? He wants to get rid of the people yelling things on the tee box at majors. Shut up, Kirk Herbstreit.
Well, I mean, I get it is annoying.
Nope,
sometimes,
not. It's fantastic. I love the ones that are real creative.
Phoenix Open.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my dream, me and Joe Buck doing the Manning cast for the Phoenix Open. And I'm on 17 just housing Busch Lights. That's the dream.
Right. Everybody, but this is where sports coverage is going. Sports coverage is because they're quickly learning that we don't have the attention span for this. Baseball would be perfect.
Absolutely.
Now that you've said it, now I'm thinking this would be perfect because
and
there's
that's
so
why
much
they're the one
time.
that won't do it.
Yeah, there's so much dead time in a baseball game that it would be perfect to do that. Problem is, like I said before, they'd probably try to stick A-Rod on it, and I'm Seacrest out.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And congratulations to Justin Thomas. The playoff was great. Oh, Daily Cast. Oh, John Daily Cast. And the only problem is you're going to have to teach him to use a webcam because he does not understand that if your hand is over the lens, we cannot see you.
I have a feeling they would fix that if he was, if he was part of an actual broadcast. But, yeah, completely loose, smoking heaters, smashing beers all throughout the thing. Yeah,
somebody followed him around on Thursday, and they did the math on what he consumed in 18 holes.
I saw that.
It was 21 heaters, 12 Diet Cokes, just living his best life. I am so anything he does, I'm in.
JT Money in the comments on YouTube says baseball boomers can't handle more than one thing.
Well, no,
once.
they just need the Vin Scully as a long fly ball in a deep center field. The seventh inning stretch brought to you by some plumbing company that no one's ever heard of.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Because I was trying to think of one and I didn't have one off the top of my head.
Nice.
Just do more sports that way. That's the way it should be. And I'm throwing my name in the ring. I'll do it as long as you do not censor the dirty words that I'm allowed to say.
Well, see, that would be the problem.
Put it on ESPN Plus. Let me go on ESPN Plus and you see if I don't throw a number.
I don't know. They had a problem with Eli Manning flipping people off on TV. I don't understand.
Oh, if you got a problem with that, you're not going to like what I do.
We had NBA playoffs over the weekend as well. The Golden State Warriors are dispatching of the Dallas Mavericks. It's
that's
not even close.
But I'll be honest with you. You want to get real value in betting right now? Take both teams in the East. The Celtics right now are plus 350, and I think the Heat are plus 325 to win the title.
Okay.
Take them both. Take whatever amount you want, because either one of them will beat Golden State. Because what they're doing to Dallas, they will not be able to do to either Miami or Boston.
Because both those teams play better defense.
And they can defend the rim. Dallas, this has become like, I feel like I'm watching middle school basketball. High ball screen, and we just get to the basket. There's nobody there. Nobody there. But do you remember that thing I said on Friday about, you know what, that game 2 didn't change my mind at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. After game 3, it sounds a lot better. And I'll have a pick on that game at the bottom of this hour.
With the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely. Jimmy Butler gets hurt. Did it matter? Nope.
Well, I mean, Boston did come back in the second half.
They win?
When he went down.
Did they win?
No, they didn't win.
They didn't win.
Jason
because they
Tatum
can't
went
stop
out
turning
too.
the ball over. They cannot stop turning the ball, and they do this for ridiculous stretches.
Hey, 24 turnovers in that game is unreal.
That's what I've seen of that team all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, your good is very, very good, but your bad is borderline unwatchable.
When you break down the quarters in this series, Boston has won all of them except for 2. Mm-hmm. Except for 2 quarters, and those 2 quarters have led to both losses because they have been so god-awfully bad.
Yeah, one of them Miami beat them by 25, and I think beat them by 22 in the other one. That's what I've said. They're inconsistent, and their bad is terrible.
Yep. Tyler Hero will not play tonight for the Miami Heat.
Well, I mean, and this is why the NBA playoffs are ridiculous. Do you realize how many guys are either questionable or worse for tonight?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there was a point the other night in the last Miami-Boston game where you thought, hell, there might not be anybody left.
18 rotational players. 6 of them are questionable or will not play.
Mm-hmm.
So stupid.
What's the answer? Less games?
Absolutely less games.
All right. I was just curious where you were going with
and
that.
a Manning cast.
And a Manning cast.
And it needs to have Charles Barkley involved.
Right. Not a big hockey watcher, but Carolina Hurricanes still up 2-1.
I have discovered that I have a real fondness for laying wagers on hockey games.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Don't
bet the over on them anymore.
Yeah, stop doing that.
You've
I've done it
lost
3
that
times. I've lost it 3 times.
Oh, you lost it 3 times.
I've lost it 3 times. Just because I don't give the pick on the show doesn't mean I don't do it myself.
The Lightning are in control of their series, though. We've got the Rangers did get one from the Hurricanes after they went back to New York, so it's a 2-1 series. Hurricanes still with the lead in the series, so there's that.
I feel like we should do one of those with Armchair for the Stanley Cup playoffs.
100%.
The finals.
He keeps begging. He keeps begging for airtime, and
he gives all the analysis, and I do nothing but house beers for 3 periods. I think that would be just incredibly entertaining.
Right. Interesting. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. The Lakers got some bad news. Well, I guess it came to light that they got some bad news from Juwan Howard. They apparently offered him the job, and everybody seems kind of shocked that Juwan Howard would say no. But why is my question. We'll talk about that coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
This is all the way up from the Gulf of Mexico. Weak area of low pressure came up into South Alabama last night and is now over western North Carolina here tonight. Breezy tropical fill with some 1.5 inch rains out there, 61 degrees. Watch out for flooding. Afternoon rain showers Tuesday, a high of 79. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
We're your alternative, Alt 101.1, with music like this and this. We're Asheville's alternative rock, Alt 101.1.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. Less than 1% of water on Earth is drinkable, and humans are using it faster than nature can replenish it. Reduce the amount of water you use in the bathroom by taking shorter showers and turning the water off while you brush your teeth. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
As cases of COVID-19 continue to decline across the country, some Americans wonder if it's worth being vaccinated and boosted. We spoke with Dr. Dara Cass, U.S. Health and Human Services Regional Director for Region 2, to learn more about the COVID-19 vaccines.
So, first of all, vaccination matters, right? I think that is an important point that we need to just put as the foundation of this conversation. And getting boosted matters as well. But the bottom line is, in our house, we have an immune-compromised person. My 9-year-old son had a liver transplant, and he also is fully vaccinated. For him, that means 3 vaccines, even though he's 9. And even in that case of having somebody in our home who was COVID positive and having an immune-compromised family member, I was not nervous, more than I will deal with whatever comes in front of us, that we had not done every single thing we could to protect our family. And that's the power of the vaccines and the boosters. You know that even if you do get infected, you've done everything you can do to protect your family and keep them as safe as humanly possible.
To find COVID-19 vaccines and boosters near you, check out vaccines.gov.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get access. Well, not anymore, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide with deals like our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month and no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $249, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community. One that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Now is the time to get in the driver's seat of your career. Ingles Markets is looking for new regional drivers to join our Land to Sky distributors fleet. Start with 2 weeks paid time off and paid holidays. Our drivers average over $80,000 per year and they're home every week. Land to Sky offers excellent pay and a great benefits package. 6 months of CDLA driving experience is required to apply. Visit ingles-markets.com/careers to know more. That's ingles-markets.com/careers.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up. The Sportsocracy has a big question. Why are you guys shocked that Juwan Howard said no to the Los Angeles Lakers? Is it because he has history with LeBron James and with Rob Pelinka? Is that the big thing that you're questioning?
I'm dumbfounded that this is even a story.
Right. I don't understand. What is the allure of going to coach the geriatric Lakers?
I'm going to preface every NBA coaching search with something. They all called Juwan Howard. Mm-hmm. Not one, not two, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not interested. Both his sons will be playing at Michigan next year.
I don't think he should be.
I don't know why he would be interested in an NBA job at all. He could be at Michigan until he chooses not to be at Michigan.
I agree. We talked about this ad nauseum with the other Michigan coach that keeps flirting with the pros, with Jim Harbaugh. Like, you just made the playoff. He's not going to the NFL right now. And you look at Juwan Howard, he was just in the Final Four 2 years ago. He's had the top 5 team the last 2 years. I mean, at least actually all 3 years. At some point during the season, they've been a top 5 team. You're at a heritage alma mater. Your sons are playing for you. Why would he want to jump to the NBA? Now, I get wanting to jump to the NBA for a great opportunity, but the Lakers are not that.
It would be one thing if he was because you got to understand, he turned down the Celtics last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a team that's in infinitely better of a position, also a heritage franchise.
Yep.
And he wasn't interested there either. But the 3 finalists for the Lakers job should tell you everything you need to know about where that job sits. Darvin Ham, Terry Stotts, and Kenny Atkinson. I like all 3 of them in some shape, form, or fashion.
I think if I had to put my money on somebody, it'd be Terry Stotts.
I would put mine probably on Kenny Atkinson.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There's
a lot of narrative around the league that he got absolutely shafted by the Brooklyn Nets,
mm-hmm.
and he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I would wager if they had that to do over again, they would go, well, we're not going to do that. We're not bringing in Steve Nash to coach this team.
Yeah. I know Darvin Ham's name has been linked heavily to the Charlotte Hornets job.
That's where I think he ends up.
See, I think that's the opportunity that he would want. Because you got to look at the difference in the situations here. Charlotte has a young team that you could build something with.
And no pressure.
Mm-hmm. Darvin Ham has worked with Mitch Kupchak before, so there's a relationship there with the GM. I'd see that being a pretty good fit. Or Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson, known for developing talent.
Just again, and I'm going to say this every day until they name a coach, not Mike D'Antoni.
Terry Stotts, to me, seems like that's where this is going to land.
Well, the problem is I don't see how any of these guys are going to have any cachet with LeBron James. I cannot for the life of me. Did you not just watch what happened with Frank Vogel? Because Terry Stotts and Frank Vogel, in terms of stature in the league, are the same guy.
Yes. But I think that's where you're stuck. You're stuck getting the recycle guy.
I mean, because nobody that doesn't think that they couldn't survive the damage is going to take this job.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is an absolute disaster.
And Terry Stotts, to me, could be that guy. He could be a guy that could, start over, so to speak, with Anthony Davis.
Well, I mean, I don't care if you
piece.
bring in Phil Jackson and his lead assistant's Pat Riley. You're not winning more than 45 games. I don't care who takes this job.
Right.
So to me, it's a zero win. I saw Darvin Ham's name and was stunned that he would be interested in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because this could be a career killer for you.
But maybe you use that. Do you know, if you're Darvin Ham, do you not
leverage with Charlotte?
Exactly.
No.
You use the leverage of, look, the Lakers want to make, and they're a much better franchise than you are. Maybe it makes Charlotte thirstier for Darvin
It's
Ham.
a much better franchise. It's a much more historically relevant franchise.
It's a better franchise.
In what regard? What do they do better? Please say drafting, considering they can't trade a pick until I think I qualify for AARP the next time they can
not
trade
in
a pick.
drafting, but they're a destination. They are.
That doesn't make them a better franchise. That makes them in a better city. They have a better location and a better media market. That is it.
But they have built winners over and over and over again.
No, the two buses that are in charge of this family have built nothing.
Well, I mean, they did win a championship just a couple of years ago.
In the bubble, and there's a big old asterisk on it.
Sure.
When you
Still
have
counts.
a geriatric franchise and you get to take 4 months off in the middle of the season, I don't necessarily know that I don't know that I would be showing that ring off at parties.
I mean, fair
That's
enough.
all I'm going to say.
Fair enough.
And that's all Jeannie and I don't remember the brother's name.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that they've ever won. I genuinely think the Los Angeles Lakers franchise is the most overrated franchise in all of sports. And I don't think it's all that close.
That kind of surprises me from somebody who used to be a Lakers fan.
Yeah. And you literally disintegrated a relationship that I grew up loving. Mm-hmm. And since then, it's been nothing but drama and instability and poor decisions and bringing in the legends of the franchise and just continuously finding some way to bomb at everything you do.
Well, they're chasing. They don't have the home run, homegrown guy.
Well, I mean, there is no home run in the NBA at this point, and this is the problem that I watch a lot of NBA teams make this mistake. You go into these coaching hires thinking you're going to win the press conference. There's not a guy that's going to win the press conference. Jay Wright, that's probably the only one that you could tangibly get. Mm-hmm. John Calipari. Other than that, who are you going to hire that your beat writers and people that do what we do are going to go, oh, yeah, it's a great hire? Mark Jackson, ask people in the industry about Mark Jackson.
Right.
I love the guy personally. He was not well liked. So just not one. Hire the best coach for your team. That's all you got to do. And to me, that's Kenny Atkinson. Because you're going to find somebody that can develop players. Mm-hmm. You have no draft capital. You have no young talent really to speak of.
See, to
LeBron
me,
and AD are going to be what they are.
Right. So to me, that's why Kenny Atkinson, obviously you're going to want the job, but wouldn't commit to the job.
What do you mean wouldn't commit to the job?
Because he has nothing to work with. He doesn't have any draft picks to
No,
play
but
with.
that's what he does, though. Kenny Atkinson did a great job of bringing guys off the scrap heap or second-round picks and turning them into actual usable, talented pieces. Mm-hmm. That's what LA's going to have to do. That was the name I said with LA from the jump. I just never thought they would settle.
Right.
I thought they would try to go big name higher, and it would blow up in their face. And they may still do that. I heard the Juwan Howard thing and audibly laughed out loud. Like, yep, that's what I thought you were going to do. Mm-hmm. That's more in the wheelhouse of what I thought you were going to do.
Yeah, they're chasing the Flash, which has been what this franchise has done since Jerry Buss took it over. Again, the problem is you don't have that home run guy. You don't have the Magic Johnson. You don't have the Kobe Bryant.
Oh, well, they should be really glad they don't have a Magic Johnson. The only thing he was worse at than hosting a talk show was coaching the Los Angeles Lakers.
And now he's back in the fold as an advisor, which is great.
Man, what a dumpster fire franchise that is.
It's not good. And like I said, I think if Darvin Ham wants to be seen as a good coach in this league, he would stay away from that job. I think you need an established guy to take over this aging roster. But that's just me. Let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Oh, the All-Star race was last night in Texas.
I'm glad you're bringing this up because I'm hoping maybe you can explain something to me. You watch way more NASCAR than I do.
Okay.
Go ahead. Tell the story because I think you're headed down the same path of what I don't understand.
The finish was absolutely ridiculous, stupid, idiotic. How many other words can I come up with for how this race ended? Ryan Blaney had a great lead at the finish of the All-Star race. And then maybe, I'll give it 20 yards before he crossed the finish line. Of course, it was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. who hit the wall, who was at the back of the pack, had nobody around him. There was no threat to anybody, and NASCAR decides to throw the caution flag.
Of course they did.
Right before Ryan Blaney crosses.
It's an all-star race that means nothing. Of course, this is not the part I was confused by. Of course they want a green flag finish where you can put it on social media.
Well,
that part I got.
That is the thing with the All-Star. But here's the thing. It wasn't a competitive lap anyway. And I guess that's what NASCAR was fishing for. But this just feeds into all of the conspiracy theories that are out there that, oh, wait for it, it's coming. Here comes the caution at the end of the race. NASCAR is so obsessed with these green-white checkered finishes that it dilutes the product, in my opinion.
See, and me being the casual fan, I think ending races under caution dilutes the product. Like, oh, this is great drama. Let's take this lap at 55.
But here's the thing. Why throw the caution? First off, there was nobody. It was the last lap. Nobody was going to be threatened by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. hitting the wall. He didn't even hit it that hard.
Nope.
He just skirted along, and they decided to throw the caution flag. And the thing about the All-Star races is, can't end on a caution. It's got to be a green flag finish. So, despite the fact that he had 60 feet left to go before he crossed the finish line, thank God Ryan Blaney controlled the last, the overtime laps and won it. Had he not won it, this would be a bigger story than it already is.
Yeah, no, I'm going to disagree with you. No one would care. What I'm curious of, Denny Hamlin was irate after this race that they didn't black flag Ryan Blaney because he took down the window net.
Of course he did. The race was over.
Well, here's what I didn't know. Apparently you can't put one of those back up from inside the car.
No, you cannot.
So the last two laps, he literally rode around with the window open.
I think he got it. He got it rigged. He got it wedged up there.
It was not legally in the only reason I know that is because Denny Hamlin was just irate.
It was not legal. Well, of course he was. He lost out on $1 million.
Oh, Denny Hamlin does not. I promise you, it ain't the money he's mad about. Denny Hamlin has more money than he could spend in 20 lifetimes.
Okay, so it was
he's the driver for Michael Jordan and owns the team. I promise you, he ain't worried about. Ask Tony Stewart if he's worried about $1 million.
In an exhibition race, the only thing I would care about is the money. I don't care about getting the trophy.
Kevin Vick kind of hit where I was headed with this. He's going to widen regardless.
Oh, this is very true.
That's kind of where I was headed.
Yeah, Denny does like to whine about things. Oh, if they had done that, if they had made Ryan Blaney come into the pits and taken the win away from him for taking down because here's the thing, he was so close to the start-finish line, he didn't even see the flag. He was so close.
They actually waved the checkered flag for him.
Right. The checkered flag was waving, and then right before he came across, that's when they called the caution, and he thought he had won, so he unclipped the thing so he could do the celebration and get the flag and all that kind of stuff. And he spent the entire caution laps trying to wedge it up into the window. And I was just waiting. I was waiting for NASCAR to call down and say, you got to go into the pits to fix that. And listening to the broadcasters in real time, like I felt like they were about to explode because they all kept saying, this is going to be a travesty. If they make him pit to fix this way, because basically what it is you have to have the strongest guy on the crew to put that netting up because it has to be so tight that the biggest guy on the crew has to wedge it in. It's got a quick release, but you can't get it in. And it was just.
And here's my question.
It was just idiotic.
And here's my question: why can you not figure out automatic windows in a race car? Okay, windshield wipers rain tires, automatic windows. Why is this so hard?
The automatic window net. I like that. You just roll it up and roll it down.
I loved Justin Thomas before yesterday.
Okay.
I now love him even more.
All right.
After an unbelievable Sunday where he comes back from 7 strokes down to win the PGA in a 3-hole aggregate playoff with Will Zalatoris. He was asked afterwards on Sirius XM how long he would celebrate his victory. Well, Justin Thomas went to Alabama. And his response was pretty good. He said, yeah, I got a 24-hour rule. Echoing what Nick Saban always says about how long they'll celebrate wins. Then follow that up with, I'm not sure what Jimbo Fisher's rule is. I guess he's got to win something first before he figures out his rule.
Oh!
Justin Thomas
wins the day.
Double win.
Nice.
God, I love that guy. I do. I love that guy. I've never really had a favorite golfer other than John Daly. Justin Thomas is very quickly getting to the head of the pack for me.
Justin Thomas, wasn't he the one that paid the freight on the guy? Yeah. Tell that story, because
and I don't remember the exact specifics of it, but there was a guy that basically, did he win a tournament or he was close or something like that?
He was close to winning a tournament, but he was low on money or something.
He was funding himself.
Right.
Justin Thomas basically went to him, wrote him a check, and said that should take care of it for a bit.
Exactly.
You want to find somebody in golf to pull for? That guy.
Justin Thomas is a guy. He is a good dude, and was happy to see him win the PGA Championship yesterday. In the NFL, we could have an ownership change coming very soon. If you haven't heard this story, according to sources, there is a secret ballot going on basically behind closed doors of all the owners in the NFL, and the goal is essentially to kick Dan Snyder out from the ownership group with the Washington Commanders. What took you so long is my first thought on this.
And that's not my first thought. My first thought is good luck with that.
All you need is 24.
Mm-hmm. You're not getting 24.
You don't think so?
Jerry Jones is never going to side with you on this. Ever. Because it sets a precedent. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of accusations about what Dan Snyder's done.
Uh-huh.
What do you definitively know?
Yeah, I feel like we know a lot about the sexual allegations and all that.
What
or the
do
harassment
you
allegations.
know? What has been tried, convicted, proven, anything like that? The billionaires that own these teams, because they're going to look at themselves and go, could this happen to me? Could I be accused of something and the next thing I know I've lost my team? Yep, Seacrest out. And I'll tell you how much it concerns Dan Snyder. He just bought $100 million of land in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I need you to understand they haven't even settled on we would build the stadium in Virginia.
Right. It's a land acquisition for him. It's
according to the AP
I think
story,
this is much closer than you do.
I don't. And I'll tell you, anybody that I talk to in the league and trust has told me not only do they not have the votes, they're not close.
Mm-hmm.
This is not like you see in an ABC drama where it's like, it's down to one vote. We have to flip so-and-so. No, you're going to have to flip about 8 of them.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to happen. Now, if anything was ever proven, if you came through and there was this happened, we know it, and it directly tied to Daniel Snyder.
This is now the second time, though, that Daniel Snyder and the Washington Commanders organization has been investigated by Congress, which is not a good thing. That's not a good sign for the league. And I feel like the league has enough smart owners that are going to go, this is bad for us. This is bad for us to have an owner out here who is
so funny to me
trouble.
How off you are on how people like this think.
And maybe so.
The super wealthy guy, he does not look at, this could be bad for us, because he knows. The NFL is as Teflon as Daniel Snyder is.
Mm-hmm.
They know that. What they look at is, how could this in the long run affect me? There's only been one time that you've ever really seen something like this. And it was Jerry Richardson.
And
they basically went to him and said, it'd be awful cool if you just
But
Get out
also
of the way.
the fact that you have an owner, like I said, that's been investigated by Congress now on 2 different occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Did the billionaires not look at this and go, we don't want Congress investigating our
they
teams?
100% would love him to go away.
Yeah.
The problem is that you can't make him. Because if you make him, now you are beholden to the same rules you just enforced on him, and that's a bad idea. Let me give you an example, and I promise you haven't thought of this before you said this.
Okay.
Bob Kraft. Bob Kraft do bad things?
Mm-hmm.
Sure did. Sure did. Did
Not
you
with
hear
his team,
anybody?
though.
How many times have they lost draft picks for literally illicit cheating? That's with the team. There's a whole mess of evidence against Robert Kraft.
I was thinking
if
more
you
of
wanted
the
to
other...
I know what you were thinking of. That was just one in a very well-layered cake. Let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to be what Daniel Snyder says. Okay, look at the McNair. You want to look at me? Let's talk about Bob Kraft. Let's talk about the McNair family in Houston. And there are a couple others. You want to come after me?
What did the McNair family do?
Google it. Let me put it that way. Jimmy Haslam in Cleveland. Same thing. There are things about a slew of owners in the NFL, and as soon this is like that. You know that there's a meme, and it's 3 Spider-Mans, and they're all pointing finger guns at each other, and you see that constantly. I feel like that's what Daniel Snyder's doing right now. Going, draw. I dare you.
Right.
Because I will bury you if you do. And that's just, and I've been told that by 2 specific people that are much closer to the NFL than I am. The owners are looking at this going, we're going to have him completely dead to rights. And we don't.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have it.
And I guess it's all going to depend on what the Federal Trade Commission comes down with.
That was the next words coming out of my mouth. Is they're sitting around hoping, man, I hope they find something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I started hearing that when the Gruden emails came out of, well, they're looking into Washington. Surely they're going to find something that we can pin on Dan Snyder and get him out of here.
Right.
And it didn't happen.
You had the sexual harassment stuff, what did they call it? The level of fear that was in all of the female employees of the Washington football team.
Oh,
they
he's
caught
a
all
horrid
of the
guy.
For that.
I'm not standing up for him, and I hope that's not how this is coming off.
No, it's not. But then they have now the 2 different books that are being kept, and he possibly withholding money from the league and other teams and stuff like that. I mean, first off, I think that would rankle the other owners.
That's the one that could get him.
And when it happened, that's what I told you, if you'll remember, is like, okay, they didn't get him on the sexual harassment stuff, but now that he's maybe withholding money from other teams and out of this pool of money that he's supposed to be sharing from ticket revenue, that's a bigger deal to the business guys.
Oh, I long told you this is going to be a John Gotti scenario.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Whether he's going to roll on everybody else.
No, John Gotti was literally killing people. The FBI knew it. They couldn't prove it.
Mm-hmm.
What'd they finally get him on? Tax evasion. It's going to be something stupid that they can prove.
Right.
And once you get to the point of you can prove it, now you can do something. I'm just telling you, the reason this is a story and the reason people like me are going, this is something to watch. If you decide to jump at Daniel Snyder, he has very obviously proven he's not going to do what's best for the league.
Right.
That's what Jerry Richardson did. Former Carolina Panthers owner.
Stepped away, yeah.
Things came down on him. There were sexual harassment allegations with him. The league went to him and said, it would be better for us if you would just get out of the way. And that's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started taking his name off things and taking statues down. Daniel Snyder's not going to do that.
No.
You're going to have to take his team kicking and screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're curious why they're so careful about who they let in as ownership groups in the NFL, this is why.
Yeah.
This is why. Because the fear is that you get somebody that has this much control over a team. There are not minority owners on this team that can buy him out.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have it. He has too much of a percentage of this team. So they would have to find an entirely new ownership group. That's the reason you hear Jeff Bezos attached to this so often. He's one of the few guys that could buy them outright. And they feel like they could kind of control him easier. Because for him, it's just a money-making asset. That's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They want guys that have the liquid capital. They can do all of the things with the team There's just not that many of those guys.
Meanwhile, the story came out from ESPN earlier today that the Washington Commanders have spent $100 million on land in Virginia for a possible stadium. They've got all these big plans. They want to get out of FedEx Field.
Well, it's one of the smallest stadiums in the league.
Right, and it's aging and all of that. And then,
oh, yeah, that was the stadium with the poo water.
Yeah.
I got the poo on me.
Right. And, there are several different places that they could try to go. They could try to go to a different site in Maryland, currently in Landover. They could go to a different site in Virginia. I think there's a few different possibilities. There's one like near Richmond.
There's one in D.C. as well.
Yeah, but that's the biggest impediment is the fact that he is being investigated by the federal government, and the federal government's the one that has to give the permission for him to go back to RFK. So that's out. Like, as long as Dan Snyder is the owner of the team, I'm pretty sure the D.C. area that's not going to happen.
I wouldn't be so sure of that.
Really?
Really wealthy people do what is best for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is coming along? If you have a big plot of land, I've always found it funny when we start talking about stadium deals. You do realize that there's only so many places that are undeveloped land that you could do this. It's an absolute nightmare in the 2 or 3 years it takes to build these stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a whole lot of people that are clamoring for that land. So, I mean, if he came through with a reasonable enough offer, those things are not going to matter. The being investigated by the federal, that's not going to matter. It's going to matter of, do we have anything? If not, then we have to let him.
Mm-hmm.
I have to find a way to make it work. However, I do have a funny feeling that there's going to be a tax evasion level crime that they're going to have enough to get him on.
All right. Reported as well, sources saying that there is a secret ballot going on around closed doors right now with the owners in the NFL to be able to seize the team, essentially, from Daniel Snyder. They would need 24 owners on it. And the question becomes, all right, you said Jerry Jones is never going to get he's never going to be down for this.
I could list 8 off the top of my head.
My question is, how big is Jerry Jones's block? Does he have enough to block it?
Yes. Until you have him just absolutely, there's no way away from it. I'm trying to explain this in a way that's not as crass as it's going to sound. Daniel Snyder is the definition of petty. So if you take, and his true love is his team.
Mm-hmm.
He's terrible at this, but this is the toy he loves the most. And much like a child, if you take that toy away, what are they going to do? They're going to pitch fit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other owners are looking around going, if he pitches this fit, how much of that gravy is going to spill over on my taters?
Right.
And I don't think you have the votes. If you did, it would have happened already.
Mm-hmm.
How many things has he skirted on this? There's nothing new to my knowledge. There's no smoking gun to my knowledge.
Not yet.
Once you have that, then we can talk. Until then, we're back to Spider-Man.
You're in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Got NBA basketball tonight, and you got hockey picks tonight.
Hockey bangers, let's go.
He's ready to go. Fire and win ready. Greene on Greene is coming up next.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
River Ridge Marketplace in East Asheville has been a staple of Buncombe County for generations, and now they're inviting you to their Spring Fling, May 28th from 11 to 4. There'll be food from their great restaurants such as Happy Cinco de Mayo, J&S Cafeteria, and many more. They'll also have sidewalk sales from their amazing vendors, snow cones, inflatables, and a petting zoo for the kids. So join me May 28th from 11 to 4 at River Ridge Marketplace.
Here's to the great American settlers, the millions of you who settled for unsatisfying jobs because they pay the bills. Of course, there is something else you could do if you got something to say. Start a podcast with Spreaker from iHeart and unleash your creative freedom. Maybe even earn enough money to one day tell your old boss, "Hey, I'm no settler. I'm an explorer." Spreaker.com. Spreaker. Hustle on over today.
Hey folks, DG here. Y'all know I've always loved the slogan, "Smiles Change Lives," which I first heard years ago from Dr. Rebecca Merrill of Asheville Smiles. I hope you will live that slogan here in 2022. Whether it's just time for a routine cleaning, you want to learn more about Invisalign, a great alternative to braces, you need a diagnosis and treatment plan, or if you don't have dental insurance, you just want to learn more about her special membership plans. 828-251-2426 or AshevilleSmiles.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge.
But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99.
You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge.
But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99.
You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Want to win $1,000? Well, we hope you've trained those fingers to spring into action. Every hour from 9 to 5 weekdays. Listen for the keywords, then enter them on our website for your chance to get $1,000 in your hand.
Brought to you by Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram and Friendship Nissan.
Hey, auto mechanics, are you underpaid? Get what you're worth at Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram and Friendship Nissan in Forest City. Get a higher flat rate, a 40-hour guarantee based on your experience, plus a sign-in bonus. Apply online at Friendship Nissan and Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City.
Coffee's for closers only.
Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Well, Friday went nicely in the NBA, but then there were the hockey bangers that were not such bangers. Trying to get back on the right track after a 2-2 Friday. 4 picks for you. First, the Tampa Bay Lightning are a -125 favorite tonight. And, well, here's the thing. If you do something 3 times and it keeps going the wrong way, let's just try to go the other way. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Lightning -125. The Colorado Avalanche are a -160 favorite tonight at the St. Louis Blues. Without their goalie, you have virtually no shot of winning this. Jordan Bennington hurt on a loose puck corralling, as I heard it described, what looked like a very dirty play to me, but that doesn't change the bet line. Give me the Avalanche -160. Finally, the Heat are a 7-point dog tonight. Over-under is 206.
7?
This is a mass unit game. Oh, Jimmy Butler's not full strength. Yeah, neither is Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, or Robert Williams. That number is dumb. Boston may win this game. It's going to be higher scoring than they think, and there is no shot to me that the Heat don't cover the 7. Give me the Heat plus the 7 over 206.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
And as always, take your wagers to betus.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500. We'll have more picks coming up in the next hour. In the 5 on it, we'll also talk some NFL as we'll play NFL Fact or Fiction.
So we put out our power rankings on the social medias, and there are some narratives in the NFL that are just absolutely patently insane to me. One of them has to do with a situation that is actively happening right now. Mm-hmm. And I just don't get it. I don't get it, and I'm never going to get it. So there's some spicy hot fact or fiction takes. We'll talk about those in the next hour.
I have lost 66 pounds with the PhD weight loss program in 24 weeks, and I'm hoping for a good week this week. I'm really hoping that I can get that next bag. I want to hit that 70-pound mark by the end of the week, and I know that I have all of the principles instilled in me to do so from the folks at PhD who are teaching me better nutrition and teaching me how to drop the pounds.
This weekend was another benchmark for me. HWA went out of town, which means I was left to my own devices.
Uh-oh.
And thanks to the plan that's been instilled in me and making healthy choices, I made healthy choices.
Oh, good for you.
And I'm down another pound. I am now below my high school weight, sleeping better than I have since I was a small child. And it's all thanks to the plan and the food at PhD Weight Loss.
PhD helping us get healthier, helping us get ready for the summer season. The pool opens this week, and I cannot wait to get back into the water, which is also going to add to my physical exercise. Going to help me drop the pounds even more. You need to change your life? Go to myphdweightloss.com. Get with the same folks that are now the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. myphdweightloss.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Now, some pretty big rains working up into the forecast here into tonight. This is all the way up from the Gulf of Mexico. Weak area of low pressure came up into South Alabama last night and is now over western North Carolina here tonight. Breezy tropical fill with some 1.5 rains out there, 61 degrees. Watch out for flooding. Afternoon rain showers Tuesday, a high of 79. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Panera. There are so many words they could use to describe Panera's new Chef's Chicken sandwiches. But when you have a bite, you might just be left speechless. Panera, the familiar made fantastic. Enjoy a $1 delivery fee when you order on their app. Restrictions apply.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Need to hire? Need Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Memorial Day weekend marks the unofficial start of summer. And the free iHeart app is your soundtrack for the long weekend. Whether you're headed to the beach with friends, barbecuing in with family, or doing some serious retail therapy, turn up the summer vibes with songs of summer radio, totally commercial-free. Turn back time with playlists like iHeart 90s and iHeart 80s, or slip into a summer podcast binge while you soak up the sun. The soundtrack for your summer is playing now on the free iHeart app. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you love.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Christine Lisi. Heat forward Jimmy Butler, dealing with knee inflammation, will warm up before Game 4 of the NBA East Finals with the intention of playing against the Celtics tonight. Kyle Lowry, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, P.J. Tucker also will warm up with the intent to play. Tyler Hero's out with a groin injury. For Boston, Jason Tatum, probable. Marcus Smart, Robert Williams III, questionable. Smart's availability and effectiveness remain the determining factor for the series, in the opinion of ESPN's J.J. Redick.
We saw his value not being in the lineup in Game 1 when Jimmy Butler targeted Peyton Pritchard time and time again in the fourth quarter. He comes back for Game 2, has a big game, 24-12, and his emotional lift that he gave the Celtics in Game 3, coming back from that ankle injury, knocking down that big sidestep three in the corner. He is the heart and soul of this team.
Game 4, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio, 8:30 Eastern, ABC. NFL quarterback Nick Foles reached a 2-year deal with the Colts. He'll back up Matt Ryan. Foles reunited with head coach Frank Reich, his offensive coordinator in Philadelphia, when he led the Eagles to a Super Bowl title.
Feeling great starts with a great shave. And great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. And for a limited time only, capture your Barbasol Jurassic World collector cans before they're gone.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. WIN. That's WIN. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on to ESPNABL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And welcome back into the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400 locally, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You can get the Sportsocracy live or on demand to take us with you anywhere that you go with the iHeartRadio app. Completely free. Download it today. What are you waiting on? You can see us everywhere live on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Planning some extra content to come out on the channel here in the coming days.
It's going to be a busy week, and we've got a new morning show coming in the coming weeks because we've got all kinds of new stuff.
We've got all kinds of new stuff. And you want to be here for, of course, when the football season gets really hot and heavy. Right now, it's all OTA talk, which is nauseating to me because, first off, since we're going to play NFL Fact or Fiction, Fact or Fiction, Aaron Rodgers and guys like that need to show up for OTAs.
Need to is a little strong. It would be nice if they did. There is a sheer possibility that Green Bay, 3 of their top 5 receivers are rookies. So, yeah, it'd be great if he showed up. Are you going to die on that hill?
No, of course not. Heard Mike Tannenbaum talking about that on Get Up this morning.
As a Jets fan, I feel like I should apologize to everyone for Mike Tannenbaum. We did that, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks for that.
He was our cap. Don't blame me directly. That was a Bill Parcells thing, okay? We just went well for a minute.
Who's going to show up for OTAs and who's not? Aaron Rodgers, not such a big deal. Look, the guy didn't show up until like 60 seconds before the season started last year and won another MVP. I don't feel like it's really that necessary.
I think he'll be fine.
Exactly.
But there is a guy that it's not whether he's going to show up for OTAs. I'm becoming more and more concerned for the Cleveland Browns.
About Deshaun?
I am.
Okay.
And I will tell you this. We put out power rankings across our social medias. And if you want to have your name said on this here program, a great way to do that is to interact with our social medias. Much like our buddy Kurt Allen Brown did earlier.
Okay.
Steelers fan. So, talking about how I'm out of my mind having the Baltimore Ravens at 2. Ron George did the same thing. There were a few. Those were the 2 most adamant. Let me say this as clearly as I can. If Deshaun Watson misses half this year, that team is dead in the water. I don't love the Steelers. I like them. I'm in love with Tomlin. I'm in like with the roster. Still like Cincinnati, but the schedule is brutal. Baltimore got every advantage you could possibly have. And what people keep saying to me is, but Lamar can't throw. He's never going to have to. I played this fun game with you before the show. What is the most number of pass attempts Lamar Jackson's ever had in a season?
It ain't a lot.
It's 401. Do the math on that. That's 25. That's 25 attempts a game. That was with Hollywood Brown and Sammy Watkins, and keep doing that. Now it's Rashad Bateman and Devin DuVernay. But you know what he has? Whole flock of running backs.
Yep.
You know what else he's got? Whole stable of tight ends. That tells me you're going to see this team in bulked up packages a lot. They're going to intend on running the ball, bleeding the clock, and then look at their defense and tell me how that's not good.
Right.
I'll wait. Their biggest drawback last year was sometimes bad things happen in the back end. How'd they fix that? They signed the best safety in the NFL and drafted the best player in the draft. Yep, think we're done. Think we're good there. Think we're good. Think we'll be just fine. And the more I see these things develop with Deshaun Watson, tomorrow night is going to be very telling. And from everything I've been told, take how bad you think this is going to be and multiply it by about 10. Because it's already done. The show's already done, been produced, and people have seen it.
Right.
It is going to be damning.
Of course it is.
And now the NFL has basically come out and said, we will have a decision on him before the season starts. I'm not going to lie. I think they'll have a decision on him before the week is over. And I don't think it's going to be good. And a lot of people said, but they re-signed Jadeveon Clowney. Woo! Yeah. That's like buying a house and saying it's painted a really pretty color. Like, yeah, cool. It's blue. All right.
So by saying all of that, with the other teams in the division facing serious questions, I mean, because Cincinnati's got questions too. Can they do it again? What are they? The question is, can you do it again?
They have one question to me. Zach Taylor. That's their one question. Did you win in spite of him, or did he mature as a coach? Because I have said on this show, he was the worst in-game coach I have ever seen. Then he got better. Did he get better because of Joe Burrow? Absolutely. But was it only because of Joe Burrow? I don't think so. I look at that team and I feel very good.
I do too.
About Cincinnati. They've got a slew of pass rushers. They're very good. The pivot point here to me is Cleveland is in that discussion with the two of them if Deshaun plays 17 games. If he plays 9 games, none of it's going to matter because you're going to be 3-5 and completely irrelevant.
Right.
I don't think people understand how daunting this conference is. Because Cleveland, all right, let's say you're the most just rose-colored glasses Cleveland Brown fan there is. Where do they fall in the AFC? Everything goes your way. Deshaun plays every game. Are you better than the Chargers?
No.
Are you better than the Bills?
No.
Are you better than the Chiefs?
Maybe. I would say maybe.
To me, that's not even close. I wasn't even to the ones that I thought you could legitimately say yes. Are you better than the Ravens?
No.
Are you better than the Bengals?
No.
You're a fringe playoff team based off what you just said. That's if everything goes perfectly. There's a possibility that you're going to pay this guy $11 jillion and he's not going to be allowed in the building. And I don't get it. I don't for the life of me understand where the hate on Baltimore comes in. You realize they were dead last year, right? Left tackle out, right tackle out, mash unit on the offensive line.
Down to picking up running backs off the waiver wire.
Yeah, they picked up Le'Veon Bell.
Right.
Who, if the Fan Control Football League ever actually ran the ball, they would look at Le'Veon Bell and go, that's going to be a no from me, dog.
You keep asking these questions, and I wish I could give you answers, but I'm right there with you. Hell, I picked him to win the Super Bowl. So I can't tell you why people feel like it's just I keep going back to people have these narratives stuck in their head, and they can't get away from it. It's like the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints have been the biggest one to me. We thought this was going to be a god-awful team. They were going to have to blow everything up. They were going to have to get rid of every major piece that they have because they were killed by the salary cap. They were, $80 million over the cap at one point. And we just thought there was no way. Sean Payton's gone. Drew Brees is gone. This is a joke. Well, look at what they've done in the offseason. And everybody just assumes, Jameis Winston, he's awful. I get it. He's had his bad moments. Throwing 30 interceptions in the season's not good, obviously.
And I'll be honest with you, at least the smart people that listen to this show, of which if you listen to this show, you're just a smart person based on that one piece of information alone. The Saints are one that I catch no flack on.
Oh.
This whole hour is dedicated to teams that I have caught flack on because some of them are insane to me. Let me ask you a question. I'm curious how close you get on this. I was born in 1987.
Okay.
In my lifetime, 35 years of life with a couple years missing in the middle. How many 10-win seasons do the Browns have total?
Oh, gosh. 1?
It's 5. And 2 of them were before I could talk. This is a historically bad franchise.
Of course.
And people just seem to forget that. Now, I know what's going to – I know me saying that. I know exactly what's going to – but so are the Bengals. No, things changed with the Bengals. Paul Brown kind of took his hands off. And now his daughter runs the social media. And he's got a whole team of people in place where he's not the notoriously cheap owner that he was. That was the problem with the Bengals forever. Yeah, they could develop talent. They'd never pay him. Ever. And then they would go be great somewhere else.
All right, so what's the problem with the Browns?
They're the Browns. Brown's going to Brown. You ever heard that phrase? There's a reason that phrase is a thing.
Until week 4 of last year, the Bengals were a punchline.
Ooh, I'm so glad you said that. Let me ask you another question.
Okay.
I so baited you into that. How many times since 2010 have the Cincinnati Bengals been to the playoffs? Game? How many times have they been to the playoffs?
It doesn't matter. Remember, to you, it doesn't matter how many times they make the playoffs. Have they won anything?
By comparison, let me finish the statement before you start using my own words against me.
All right, go ahead.
How many times have the Bengals been to the playoffs?
6.
It's 6.
Yeah.
That's in 10 years. How many times have the Browns been to the playoffs?
Once.
Once since 2002. Yeah, there's a little bit of a difference there. Now, does it make you a hallmark franchise? No. But to compare the two is stupid. I can argue there's not 3 worse franchises in sports than this one.
Sure.
And now all of a sudden you give $11 billion to a quarterback who, by the way, you don't even know if he can play. You have upset every team I have talked to. I have not talked to one person that works in the NFL that doesn't absolutely despise the Cleveland Browns right now because you put them on the clock. Why did you do that? Because you had to.
Of course.
Because the one quarterback that would accept a deal here would only do it if you guaranteed them $250 million. And people just seem to put their fingers in their ears and go, nope, figured out quarterback. None of the rest of it matters.
It's true.
It's not true.
It's
true.
Season,
That's how people think. It's not true. The history of this team.
Other than this season, it's true. They don't have to worry about quarterback again until this deal is done.
And that's all well and good. That's all well and good. Houston was in the same boat. Houston didn't have to worry about quarterback ever again. Last season he played, how many games did they win?
4.
There you go. It's not the end-all, be-all. And now you've got all of these problems, and it's very expensive. You got to remember that 4-win season for Deshaun Watson, that was on a rookie deal too. So not only was he on the team, and yeah, we've got that situated, he was also really cheap. Really cheap.
But they didn't have anything around him.
That's not even kind of true. The last year he was there, they had DeAndre Hopkins.
No, he had been traded.
The last year that he fully played, DeAndre Hopkins has been in Arizona for a year.
That 4-win season, DeAndre Hopkins was not traded before that?
Now you're making me second guess that.
I thought he was. I think they traded him, then they had the 4-win season, and then all of the things
They still had
apart.
talent on that team.
Yeah. I mean, you had Brandon Cooks and Laramie Tunsil. You had essentially what you have now of just a bunch of dudes. And what did we constantly say last year?
Yeah, he's played 2 years in Arizona.
Yeah.
That 2020 year screws with me.
Right. But that's the thing. Like, of course, the quarterback is not the only thing that you have. Well, now you've given him the money. You know that you're fully guaranteed for $240 million. How are you going to keep a team around him?
And here's where I'm going with this. All right, so you said that team with Houston was entirely bereft of talent.
Sure.
Was he really weapons-wise? What does he really have in Cleveland?
Well, he has Amari Cooper.
Okay. You mean the guy that's absolutely worthless on the road? Has been his entire career. I mean,
right. Until last year.
You laugh at that.
Until last year.
Yeah, and then he was completely useless at home.
Sure.
Apparently his therapeutic mattress was not delivered last year because he was terrible at home.
Yeah, he's a hit or miss wide receiver, but he's a
top 20
number 1.
He's a top 20 receiver in this league. And then what? Donovan Peoples-Jones, that I've never seen do this. David Bell, who's a rookie that everybody in this league bypassed twice because he was too slow. David Njoku, that you put the franchise tag on, and everybody in the league universally went, wait, what? An offensive line that's good and constantly hurt. I'm just saying that, and look, I'm playing devil's advocate here, and I'm not saying that I'm not.
Right.
I think this team is greatly improved if everything is good.
Yes.
Problem is there's a lot of variables here. And this just thought that it's going to be, well, it's Cleveland, Cincinnati. Baltimore's irrelevant because they were 8-9 last year. Baltimore was also killed last year.
Yeah. I don't understand the hate on the Baltimore Ravens.
I don't either.
But I also don't understand the hate on the Cleveland Browns. I mean, obviously.
There's too much drama.
Obviously.
Name me a team that's had this much noise around it that wound up being good. In the NFL. Don't give me an NBA team because that's a completely different animal.
Story. Off the top of my head, I can't.
Very rarely ever happens. Now, you remember that question I asked about how many 10-win seasons did the Browns had?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how many has Baltimore had since 2010?
Oh, it's been a bunch.
It's 7.
Mm-hmm.
In 12 years, they've had double-digit wins 7 times.
Sure.
So for me, I'm looking at this going, all right, so you're wanting me to give Pittsburgh the benefit of the doubt, in spite of the fact you have a complete, how do I say this nicely, deficiency talent-wise at multiple important positions. But I'm not supposed to give it to Baltimore? Mm-hmm. Because they went 8-9 last year. Mm-hmm. They had me playing left tackle. Right. By week 16, I was one call away from being a practice squad member for the Baltimore Ravens.
The Pittsburgh hate to me, I get it because it's all quarterback.
And I don't even hate Pittsburgh.
To me,
I think every team in that division's good.
To me, it's the Carolina Panthers. To me, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Carolina Panthers are not that different.
Oh, they're very different to me.
Okay.
Sam Darnold is a turnover machine.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch Trubisky was a Pro Bowler until Matt Nagy showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one. Now, the Kenny Pickett thing scares me to death with
right,
Pittsburgh.
That's what I'm saying. Pittsburgh doesn't have the guy to believe in either. I mean, you could be all excited about the 4 halves of football you got to see in the preseason of Mitch Trubisky last year. But remember, this was a guy who was the worst quarterback in the league, narrative-wise, 2 years ago. When he was in Chicago, no one believed in him. Everyone, he was the Justin Fields of 2 years ago. The worst quarterback. They're never going to do anything without him. And now he comes to Pittsburgh, and we're supposed to believe. Kenny Pickett. One of the things you said about Kenny Pickett in the run-up to the draft was that guy's going to be a turnover machine in the NFL.
I'm really glad you said that about Mitch Trubisky.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a thing.
Okay.
And this is going to, I don't know exactly what to call this, but it's a blind resume test.
Okay.
One of these quarterbacks has a career 64-38 touchdown to interception ratio, 29-21 as a starter.
Okay.
It's not terrible. 64% completion percentage, almost 7 yards per attempt. That's not bad. There's nothing bad about that.
Okay.
The other one is a career 6.5 yards per attempt guy, 36-17 touchdown interception ratio, 14-23 as a starter.
Okay.
Who's who?
No
the first one's Mitch Trubisky.
Okay.
The second one's Jacoby Brissett, who most likely is going to be the starter for the Cleveland Browns for the first half of the year. You see how those two things sound really bad compared to each other?
Sure.
Now realize that the talent around them is the exact same. Only difference, I have better weapons in Pittsburgh than I have in Cleveland. So tell me how I'm supposed to believe in one and not the other. Makes no sense to me.
Well, it all depends on what you think is going to happen with Deshaun Watson.
I have come completely full circle of there is no way it's not going to be at least 4. No way.
All right, so you're on my side on this one.
No, because for me, I think he's going to have to agree. I think he's going to have to say, I don't want this. I want this to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I want this to stop happening because I think they're going to come at him with a year.
We'll just wait till the TV show comes out.
That's what changed my mind.
Right.
When the show came out, and now I've said this since we did this show on 570 years ago. When there's something you can tangibly see in front of your face, it completely changes the public narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're about to have that.
Yep.
You're about 28 hours from that.
And this was never not going to happen. We were going to have the full expose. The accusers were at some point going to come out on national television and make their accusations. You knew this was coming.
I did not know this was coming.
Really?
I did not know this was
Without
coming.
any kind of a settlement, this was always going to happen. The question is
often
how much
doesn't,
does it
just
sway?
so you know. And now I'm looking more at celebrity things because this is more prevalent with celebrity things than it is.
Oh, if you don't settle,
things.
you have all.
You
of
usually
this
end up in
looking forward
court.
to. Mm-hmm.
And that's where I thought this could be, no, we're not waiting that long.
No. Yeah. We'll just have to see how it goes. When's that coming out? Tuesday?
Tomorrow night.
Oh, tomorrow night. Be interesting to see. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Now, some pretty big rains working up into the forecast here into tonight. This is all the way up from the Gulf of Mexico. Weak area of low pressure came up into South Alabama last night and is now over western North Carolina here tonight. Breezy tropical fill with some 1.5 inch rains out there, 61 degrees. Watch out for flooding. Afternoon rain showers Tuesday, a high of 79. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Heavy traffic delays, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound, very busy between exit 2 and exit 3. Future 26 westbound west of 240 traffic is slowing. 26 westbound, very slow in pockets between Hendersonville Road and the French Broad River. 26 on the eastbound side, very busy in pockets between I-40 to east of Long Shoals Road. 40 westbound delays between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and the Smoky Park Highway. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road northbound between Sand Hill Road and Brevard Road, heavy delays. Brevard Road north and southbound near Avery Creek approaching Long Shoals Road, delays. NC 191 near Henderson High School near North Rugby Road, an accident reported. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road, delays. I'm Lee Benfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. Whether you want your pet to have the independence to run and play outside, or you need to correct some mischievous behaviors like digging in the trash, the hands-on trainers from Invisible Fence brand train your pets for you. Visit InvisibleFence.com to learn more. Invisible Fence brand. Surround your pets with care.
The job market is competitive right now, so you need to be competitive to attract top talent. If you're trying to fill open positions at your business, iHeartMedia is here to help. Use radio and digital targeting to find fresh, passive candidates currently in the workforce. These candidates are listening right now, looking for new opportunities. Together, we can let the community know you're hiring. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Have you ever heard of the Yips? What about the Twisties? Join me, Justin Sua, for Losing Control, a new podcast about one of the strangest phenomena in sports, the yips, or when an athlete or elite performer suddenly finds themselves unable to do the thing that they do better than almost everyone else on the planet. That's Losing Control, a new podcast from Sports Illustrated Studios and iHeartRadio. Listen to Losing Control on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge.
But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99.
You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
River Ridge Marketplace in East Asheville has been a staple of Buncombe County for generations, and now they're inviting you to their spring fling, May 28th from 11 to 4. There'll be food from their great restaurants such as Happy Cinco de Mayo, J&S Cafeteria, and many more. They'll also have sidewalk sales from their amazing vendors, snow cones, inflatables, and a petting zoo for the kids. So join me May 28th from 11 to 4 at River Ridge Marketplace.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
And the Sportsocracy brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. NFL, fact or fiction? Fact. The Ravens are going to be damn good this year.
Real good.
And if you're a hater, just prepare yourself. Prepare yourself to be wrong. I mean, barring another freak injury-riddled season like they had last year where every running back dies and both ends of their line dies and there are countless injuries on the defensive side of the ball, this team is going to be at the top of the AFC.
And look, that's not a shot at the other teams in the AFC North. It's just there were a lot of Raven haters across our social medias over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that should be addressed. Because I don't get it.
One thing that I still don't get, I'm not so far off that it's insane, but one thing I still don't get is having the Philadelphia Eagles in the top 10.
Is there a way they don't win 11 games? You've looked at the schedule. You've done it. You've said it to me.
Maybe.
And what is that? Half the team gets abducted by space aliens?
Maybe. You never know.
Yep, that's digging a little deep.
You had the head of NASA coming out the other day saying UFOs are real.
Hashtag UFOs aren't real.
You never know.
Just like birds. Not real.
I still have question marks. I get that they added A.J. Brown. I get that they added a lot of pieces on the defense. I still have question marks about Jalen Hurts. I still have question marks about Nick Sirianni and his decision-making.
And here's where I would tie these two things together. You have no objections about Lamar Jackson.
I have some. But
very few.
They have built the team around him.
They built the team around Jalen Hurts,
too. I get it. And I get it.
Look, nobody's been a louder detractor of Jalen Hurts than me, and I'm not going to lie, I still don't think he's a good NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
However, you have completely built a team around him to do exactly what he needs to do. Then you look at the schedule, you look at the division, all of this thought with the New York Giants. Oh, there's hope with the Giants. Stop talking. That is insanity.
There's hope that Daniel Jones found his fountain of youth or whatever his whatever the opposite of a Space Jam ball is.
Well, he didn't need a fountain of youth because he actually somehow looks younger than Arch Manning, but he's just not good.
Right.
You're a year away. You still need a quarterback. I don't care how good your coach is. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
This team was horrid last year. Horrid. To me, you're clearly the worst team in your division. It's not even kind of close. So why am I supposed to be so excited about this?
There's a potential it could be close.
To who?
To the Washington Commanders.
I don't.
If Carson Wentz is god-awful again, which ain't out of the realm of possibility, then great. You got Terry McLaurin. Good job. You got a good running back. You know what that makes you? The Carolina Panthers.
I'm really glad you said what you just said.
Uh-huh.
27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 62.5% completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
You know who that is?
Carson Wentz last year.
Carson Wentz last year.
Mm-hmm.
That was terrible. Oh, he's so terrible. No, Frank Wright put him in bad positions to throw really poorly timed interceptions. Carson Wentz or Daniel Jones, you have to bet your house on it. Which one you taking?
Do what?
I said Carson Wentz or Daniel Jones, you have to bet your house on it. Which one you taking?
Oh, I would take Carson Wentz.
No doubt. You wouldn't think about it.
Sure.
Who has better defense, Washington or the Giants?
Oh, Washington.
Who runs the ball better, Washington or the Giants? Whose weapons do you like better? You see how when you build these things together? Oh, yeah, I guess that is kind of stupid. The Giants are bad. They are bad, bad, but bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're young. They're young, and there's reason to be excited.
Mm-hmm.
You're not there yet. Like a little kid in the backseat of a car ride.
Oh, wait,
you're not there yet.
Are you talking about winning the division?
No, I'm talking about being better. Which one of those two teams is going to be better? It's Washington by 4 solid games, and I don't even think it's debatable.
Maybe.
But I got a lot of flack for the Giants are below the Jets.
Yep.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
And they're going to be. Well, they're behind the Jaguars. Yeah, and you're going to be for a year. And in a year we can talk, depending on who your next quarterback is.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the Giants will be better. Problem is, it's not going to show up.
Well, you
on the
couldn't be
scoreboard.
much worse.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
it would be really hard than your stadium being half full and your fans showing up with bags over their heads.
Right. And you're probably going to have that again.
Oh, absolutely.
But
you will.
you might win.
I can't wait to
games.
see how many games it takes before the Giants faithful completely turns on Brian Daboll. Which they shouldn't. I think he's a very good coach, and I think he's going to be very good for them. But I know that fan base reasonably well because they tend to think very similarly to mine. I caught a lot of flack for the Giants, and I didn't want to talk about that for long. That's the reason we sandwiched it right here. Just, okay. Like, I mean, it's one of those times, if you believe anything I say, this is probably a good time to just go, oh, the team's not good.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Now, the story of Casey and Vicky White really captured America's attention for a little bit.
Don't do crimes.
This was the jailer in Alabama that fell in love with the convicted murderer and let him out and helped him escape. And they went on the road and they got a hotel room up in Evansville, Indiana, and stayed there for 14 days. America's weird, and the things that people will spend money on baffle me. Because now, that hotel room 150 at the Motel 41, reportedly has become one of the biggest tourist attractions in Evansville, Indiana. Now,
well, that's not
obviously,
saying much.
Right, it's Evansville, Indiana.
I mean, what is it beating? The world's largest box of cat litter? Like, I mean,
I don't know.
What is Evansville known for?
Don't know.
Why you tell the story? I'm Googling it.
But the fact that the room 150, located on the ground floor of Motel 41, which is just off of US 41 North in Evansville, Indiana, now apparently at $63 a night, or at least as it was listed prior to, the demand for the booking now has a waiting list of over 60 people who want to stay in room 150. Why? I mean, it's not like this was D.B. Cooper and there's a possibility there's $1 million in the wall somewhere. This is where some redneck jailer from Alabama took a convicted murderer and hid out for 14 days. What is the attraction here?
Well, let me see if I could possibly answer that for you.
Okay.
And I'm not taking shots at your town, Evansville, Indiana.
Uh-huh.
But I Googled attractions in Evansville, Indiana. There's a website called visitevansville.com.
Awesome.
And on their attractions page, I'm not making this up, and I'm going to try to say this without laughing. The number one attraction on their website is AMC Evansville 16. It's a movie theater. Their number one attraction is a movie theater.
Now, maybe this is just from locals. Like, locals are like, oh, yeah. This is now on the map. We got to go visit this hotel room. I don't understand the attraction to this at all.
The Evansville Honors baseball team. The High Score Saloon. I could do this for way longer, but I'm not gonna. We're gonna play a fun game of guess what state this happened in.
Oh yeah, are you gonna tell us again?
Nope.
Okay.
And I'm glad you said that because I was probably about to. Blake Morris and Maggie Morton. They are both former U.S. Coast Guard helicopter pilots. They're a couple.
Okay.
And they saw a helicopter body for sale from a Florida man on Facebook Marketplace. So they bought it.
Okay.
There's only one problem. The helicopter doesn't fly.
Yeah.
And it's never going to fly because it has mechanical flaws that cannot be fixed for less than the actual cost of the helicopter.
Well, that's
so one might ask, why would you buy a retired aircraft that cannot fly?
Mm-hmm.
They turned it into a helicamper.
Nice.
Helicamper.
Nice.
They put wheels on it,
Uh-huh.
and now it's a camper.
Yeah.
It's still a helicopter, so it's no bigger than the desk we're currently sitting at and makes me claustrophobic in a way that I can only begin to explain to you.
So this is like one of those one-person deals.
Nope, just for both of them.
No. I mean the helicopter. It's one of those small.
No, it's a retired military helicopter. So it's about the size of an RV.
All right.
For $100 million, I would not fly in a helicopter. I know Josh Michael loves them, our iHeart compatriot.
Of course, he was the first one I thought about, and he was like, "This is a hell of an idea. I needs to get me a camper.
I need me a helicamper." What state was this in?
Alabama.
Bingo.
I knew it had to be somewhere near the coast because Coast Guard pilots, wow. Got it on the first shot.
Okay, how expensive is a camper? I feel like you spent more money to convert this thing that is claustrophobia to the... You can't stand up in it. Am I the only one? And maybe it's because I'm a giant human.
Right.
Am I the only one that's worried about head clearance?
Yes.
Like you sit up out of bed and just bounce your head off a propeller or something like that?
That's a hell of a conversation piece that you just can't, and for two former pilots, yeah, of course.
See, this is where people in their nostalgia, like there is nothing that looks comfortable about this thing. Nothing. That's like what my nightmares are made of.
Mm-hmm.
You have to sleep in this thing. Or I could sleep outside.
And you wouldn't.
That's where the birds live, so no, I'm not going to do that either.
Not a chance. You would much rather sleep in the helicopter or the helicamper.
Can I just sleep in my car? I know, that's more pleasant than any of these things we've said.
I guarantee the helicamper is going to be more spacier for you to do that in.
Jason Trump said if it was in Asheville on VRBO, it'd be at least $1,300 a night.
No doubt.
I do not understand how people pay the payments on things in the city that they do.
Yeah,
blows my mind.
Cheaper than oxygen.
I was with a friend over the weekend that has an Airbnb. I've been to the house, told me how much it rented for a night, and I went,
"Do what?
Squeeze me? I beg your jargon. That is a lot. That house's mortgage should not be that much,
right?
But it is.
All right. So helicamper. We got to get one of those for Josh Michael now.
100%. I'm actually sending him the story right now. I'm currently in his good graces because he saw that I had the Eagles at 9, and he was very happy by that.
Right.
As really should be.
I still feel like you're a little drunk on that, but not by much. I mean, I had him in like the top 11, so we weren't that far off. It's just
I did enjoy your response.
Foregone conclusion.
I did enjoy your response when he said he was so excited that we had him there, and your response was Jeremy was drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Most of the time, yes. When I did that, no.
And I did that more just for him anyway. He's too over the moon right now with Top Gun Maverick coming out this week, and it's like everything's going perfectly in his life right now. And I just wanted to bring him down a notch.
Speaking of that, I'm glad you said that because I'd totally forgotten that I wanted to ask this question because I'm going to ask it on social media after the show.
Okay.
I told you that John Daly was on the Joe Buck cast for the PGA Championship.
Yes.
Well, the celebrity that was on with him was John Hamm, the guy from Mad Men. And I don't know what else he's ever done in his life because I don't actually know who that person is. Apparently, he's the commander in Top Gun.
Okay.
So he's Tom Cruise's boss.
He plays like the Tom Skerritt role.
He's the one that I don't know who that person is either. He's the one that has to tell Tom Cruise, "Oh, you're a wild card that's flying too close to the sun." He's that guy.
Gotcha.
Well, in the course of their conversations, they were talking about call names. And I guess in the movie, his is Cyclone.
Okay.
So they asked John Daly, what would your call name be? And John Hamm chimed in and said, well, it'd be Heater. And I went,
that was
mine. So now I want to know, with Top Gun coming out, what would my call name be?
Nice.
You can't hurt my feelings. I'm very thick-skinned. So
that takes a lot of thought.
The winner, but we'll do something nice for you.
Right.
But it'll be on social media after the show.
Can you do it without saying the word mullet?
No, I think it needs to have mullet in it.
Well, it needs to be short. It needs to be concise. So it can't be much more than that.
Does it have to be concise?
I mean, I feel like it does. I mean,
well, I'm not saying
Maverick,
a sentence.
Iceman, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, Arizona Cardinals. Is that a team that you're getting a lot of flack for?
An unbelievable amount. But Kyler Murray's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Is he, though? Is he really?
He's goodish.
All right, let me ask you this question. It has already come out from Adam Schefter. Kyler Murray will not be at Arizona OTAs. Who's shocked?
Who cares? I mean, I think that's a bigger deal than Aaron Rodgers missing OTAs. Don't get me wrong.
Would you pay him?
Kyler Murray?
Mm-hmm.
No. I would not.
He throws a lot of interceptions. He gets sacked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot.
Mm-hmm. But what are you going to do? What's your alternative?
You either have the guy or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I fully believe they don't. He's too easy to mitigate. I mean, you saw that at the end of the year last year. All you had to do was send pressure up the middle, and he's doomed.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it so shocking that I have them so low? I mean, I've had this theory with coaches forever that any idiot can take a really talented roster, and as things progress and you keep making decisions and you invest insane amount of capital into your receiving core.
But they started 8-0 last year.
And?
I mean, that's what everybody's going to go to.
$1 will get them a Coke.
I mean, this was a playoff team.
And they almost missed the playoffs after they started that well.
Absolutely.
Because everybody figured it out. So why is this so off-putting that I have them at 22? I mean, who are they legitimate? And I'm literally going to read off the 5 teams directly in front of them. You tell me which one of these teams are better than. New England Patriots.
Possibly.
I'll possibly give you that one.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
Dallas Cowboys.
No.
Minnesota Vikings.
No.
Denver Broncos.
No.
There you go. It doesn't get better from there. Those are the teams that are the closest to them.
Right. The New England Patriots is the only one that I go, that team is bereft of talent, except for I get Bill Belichick on one side and I get Cliff Kingsbury on the other.
There you go.
And I'm not even a real Cliff Kingsbury hater, other than the fact that, I mean, this is a guy who couldn't keep a job in college, and somehow we're supposed to believe that he's a really good NFL coach.
And that's just where I'm at, is I would argue you're bottom 5 in the NFL coaching staff-wise.
Also considering the fact that he is going to be out without his lead receiver for 6 games, which means...
And that only kind of plays into it. I mean, that's part of the drama.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of look at Cleveland and Arizona similarly, and there's a lot of noise. And I'm sure you've deduced this about me. I don't like noise.
Mm-hmm.
I like teams that are really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just go back to the list I just gave. New England right now, really loud. Who's going to call your plays? The coaching staff. Has Bill outsmarted himself? That's noise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like noise when I'm not elite at quarterback. I'm not elite at anything. You know who's really quiet right now? Minnesota Vikings are really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Denver Broncos are really quiet, other than the Russell hype. But that's nothing they're doing.
Right.
I like that. I don't like noise.
Right. There's problems within your team. Quarterback don't like the coach or the GM or whoever. You're at odds. You play this little game. I mean, the only thing I could think, the only rebuttal I could come up with is Green Bay. Still like Green Bay, but there's a lot of noise around them.
But there's not really a lot of noise around them. Okay, so Aaron's not going to OTAs. Nobody with an IQ above salad dressing thought he was going to be there.
For the last 2 years, there's been a lot of noise, and they've still been really good.
And one of them had Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur, who I believe in infinitely. The other has little itty-bitty Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, I get it. I completely understand. I'm just saying that's the only one that I can think of that's had major noise around it. But it's still been really good. Somebody mentioned in the comments earlier, I think it was Jason Trump, that said the Dallas Cowboys have had a lot of noise, but they've been good. Yeah, but
have they though?
What have they won?
Has that team at any point been better than you thought they would be?
No.
Historically,
they've been worse than we thought they would be.
Historically, it's always been a fun little at least as long as I've been doing this. I've only been doing this for about 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I've been in this industry, there's always been a dirty little secret of take however many games you think the Cowboys are going to win and subtract 2 because they're going to lose 2 that blow your mind.
Right.
Every single year. Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, doesn't matter.
What is your big attraction with the Arizona Cardinals if you're an Arizona Cardinals defender? Is it the Marquise Brown deal? Like, are you looking at Marquise Brown and going, oh, they played together in college, so this is going to be great? Maybe so.
That's like the guy that can't keep a job that goes and buys a motorcycle. You all know that guy. I promise you, when I just said that, Everybody went, that's Dave. Yeah, Dave's a train wreck. It's the same premise.
Right.
Hollywood Brown is a nice piece. I would never pay him. Ever. And you traded a first-round pick for the right to do it.
Yep.
And I told you before the schedule came out, this is a team that the way the schedule lays out is going to 100% determine how I feel they go. Do you know how that schedule starts? Kansas City at the Raiders, Rams. That's three. That's not just 3 losses. That is, you get literally embarrassed 3 weeks in a row.
Right.
Then it lightens up, but you have to go to Carolina. West Coast coming east. Mm-hmm. It is 4:05, so that does help.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles at the Seahawks. I don't believe in the Seahawks at all. That's still a hard place to play.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be early enough in the season that they haven't tapped out yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a brutal start. Best case scenario, you start 2-4.
And as you said, how was the way that the league found out to mitigate Kyler Murray last year? Pressure up the middle.
Look at the pressure up the middle that comes from those teams.
You just signed Will Hernandez. Am I supposed to believe that plugged the hole?
No.
That was the big answer? No. You didn't do anything on defense except for lose Chandler Jones. So what am I supposed to believe in?
And add a couple rookies.
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to change how I feel about this team, and it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't. I was off this bandwagon last year that you did nothing to make me feel better.
Yep.
All you've done is have everything around you get louder. Of course I'm down on you. And I could play the same game with them that I just played with the Giants.
Yeah.
Who in front of them are you supposed to be better than?
Mm-hmm. Maybe the New England Patriots.
And I don't get it. That was one I caught a ton of flack for. And, okay. I mean, yes, quarterback is very important. It's the most important position in all of sports.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if people really got brass tacks with this and did the ranking themselves, you'd figure out he's no higher than 11. There is not a path that you have Kyler Murray in the top 10 of quarterbacks in this league.
Agreed. But also, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, do you expect to do better? You're going to have to pay. You're going to be in the same situation that the Minnesota Vikings were in with Kirk Cousins, that the Las Vegas Raiders were in with Derek Carr. When we decided to pay these guys,
stop putting Derek Carr in that. Derek Carr does not belong in that. Derek Carr is clearly better than both of them.
But what I'm saying is these guys are guys that are in the middle of the pack as quarterbacks, and you had to pay them because you didn't have a better option.
And
so
what does
Arizona's
that lead to?
Going to be there.
And what does that lead to?
It leads to you being
mediocrity.
Exactly. Competitive most years, but never winning the big one. Which is where, the Las Vegas Raiders have found themselves and the Minnesota Vikings. Just the way it is. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Charlotte Street, Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound stop and go between exit 3 and exit 4A. Future 26 westbound west of 240, heavy volume due to an accident. 26 westbound, pockets of slow traffic volume between Fanning Bridge Road to west of Airport Road. Again, 26 westbound crawling between Bavard Road and I-40 due to an accident. 26 on the eastbound side, slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Airport Road. 40 westbound crawling between Bavard Road and the 26-240 split. Charlotte Highway near I-40, an accident reported. Expect delays. Hendersonville Road north and southbound approaching Butler Bridge Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road slow. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road northbound between Sandhill Road and Bavard Road, heavy delays. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Here's to the great American settlers, the millions of you who settled for unsatisfying jobs because they pay the bills. Of course, there is something else you could do if you got something to say. Start a podcast with Spreaker from iHeart and unleash your creative freedom. Maybe even earn enough money to one day tell your old boss, Hey, I'm no settler. I'm an explorer. Spreaker.com. Spreaker. Hustle on over today.
And Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
I love my Charmin Super Mega Golden Goals last long. It's TP Goals, yeah. Charmin's got 6 rows in one. Lasts forever on my buns. Only Super Mega when I'm cleaning. Charmin's got my booty believing.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Biting into a sandwich is good. Getting the perfect bite of KFC's juicy, hand-breaded, 100% white meat chicken filet with tangy mayo, thick-cut pickles, and a buttery brioche bun? That's finger-licking good. Order the KFC chicken sandwich in classic or spicy today. Prices and participation may vary.
At Progressive, we know there's nothing like the feeling of riding a motorcycle with your crew on the open road. It's a primal, wild freedom. A feeling that would be impossible to recreate on the radio. Until now. Hit it, sound effects guy. No. We really lost our stride at the end there. Get 24/7 roadside assistance with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Roadside assistance subject to policy terms and limits and may require comprehensive coverage.
Memorial Day weekend marks the unofficial start of summer. And the free iHeart app is your soundtrack for the long weekend. Whether you're headed to the beach with friends, barbecuing in with family, or doing some serious retail therapy, turn up the summer vibes with songs of summer radio, totally commercial free. Turn back time with playlists like iHeart 90s and iHeart 80s, or slip into a summer podcast binge while you soak up the sun. The soundtrack for your summer is playing now on the free iHeart app. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you love.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
We're up $142 from the start. If you've been with us since the get-go, we started with $500 in this segment. If you have followed along, you're up $142.29 after a perfect Friday. I got 3 picks for you. First one, I got 25 on it. The Tampa Bay Lightning are a -125 favorite against the Florida Panthers tonight. Look, this game is, I don't see any path that they don't get swept. It's been clearly Tampa Bay. They're clearly the best team to me. -125 is not enough to scare me off of it, so I got 25 on it, Tampa Bay Lightning. Next, I got 50 on it. The Colorado Avalanche are a -160 favorite tonight at the St. Louis Blues. St. Louis lost their goalie. You know what I've learned in the little bit of time I've been doing hockey? Goaltenders are really important. Like, not quarterback important, but pretty close. So, -160 is not enough to scare me off that. I got 50 on it. Colorado Avalanche, -160. Finally, I got 75 on it. The Miami Heat are a +7 dog tonight at the Boston Celtics. Both of these teams are killed. I have been listening to Brian Windhorst and J.J. Redick all day saying, well, if the Boston Celtics could take a page out of the Heat's playbook and run that high pick and roll with Al Horford, well, and if Marcus Smart could fly, it wouldn't matter that his ankle hurt. He can't. They can't. Not telling you the Heat win, but I will tell you they're going to cover the 7. I got 75 on it. Miami Heat plus the 7.
I'll be honest with you. I was expecting a bigger number there. But
bigger number on my side?
Yeah, on your side.
Well, if I hadn't had that offer where I got real good and aggressive, I probably would have. Yeah. We were still in that up 250-ish range. Probably would have.
There you go. But up almost 150.
It does make me a little nervous that Tyler Hero's not going to play. But the more I've thought about that means that Victor Oladipo is going to play more, and they're better with Oladipo on the floor than they are with Hero.
Yep.
That's one of the funniest things to me about the NBA is how many players, the name sounds good, and then you watch them and go, 1 out of every 5 minutes you play is productive. So is that actually a negative or is it a veiled positive?
Take all your wagers to BetUs.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500. Ooh, yeah, they're talking on the television right now. Baker Mayfield will not attend OTAs.
Shocked.
No kidding.
Breaking news. That's kind of like saying that I won't be at the Victoria's Secret party this year. Not because I didn't want to go, because I weren't invited.
The hate on certain teams this year in the NFL is just baffling to me. I cannot wait for the season to start, and that's why you look at every show. Every show is just like, when's it going to start? OTAs. Hey, we can talk about voluntary practices. Yay. Programming note, I will not be here tomorrow. Jeremy, y'all on your lonesome.
You just get me all by myself.
Yeah, tune in tomorrow at 3 o'clock right here on ESPN Asheville.
Bet you that the percentage of content is very highly football leaning.
There's a great chance of that in the Sportsocracy. Check us out at thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Lots of extra content coming your way over this NFL offseason. As yes, we are all as excited as you are for the start of the season. Back tomorrow at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Now, some pretty big rains working up into the forecast here into tonight. This is all the way up from the Gulf of Mexico. Weak area of low pressure came up into South Alabama last night and is now over western North Carolina here tonight. Breezy tropical fill with some 1.5 rains out there, 61 degrees. Watch out for flooding. Afternoon rain showers Tuesday, a high of 79. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples offers the latest laptops and networking solutions for working from home, in office, or both. And right now, save up to $260 on select PCs. In-store only. Offer ends 5/28. Limit 2 while supplies last. The latest tech solutions at Staples, the working and learning store.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Charlotte Street, Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound stop and go between exit 3 and exit 4A. Future 26 westbound west of 240, heavy volume due to an accident. 26 westbound, pockets of slow traffic volume between Fanning Bridge Road to west of Airport Road. Again, 26 westbound crawling between Bavard Road and I-40 due to an accident. 26 on the eastbound side, slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Airport Road. 40 westbound crawling between Bavard Road and the 26-240 split. Charlotte Highway near I-40, an accident reported. Expect delays.
This report is sponsored by KFC. Sharing sides is good. Getting enough so you don't have to, that's finger licking good. Choose 3 large KFC sides, like secret recipe fries or creamy mac and cheese with 8 pieces of tenders or fried chicken when you get KFC's Side Lovers Meal. Order now on the KFC app. Prices and participation may vary.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.